Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you voted and you actually feel like it changed something? Something in your life, your child, school, your neighborhood, your job, your rent, safety, how your income is changed or gotten better or worse. Most of us vote every 4 years for the president. We show up faithfully. We do our part. It reminds me of when, we all pulled together and voted in Barack Obama. But a lot of times we vote for the president in those types of elections and nothing ever changes. It'd be the same problems, the same neglect, the same stuff, no matter who's in office, whether it be the Republicans or the Democrats. It'd be the same feeling that nobody is really, working for us. You know what I'm saying? When I say us, I'm talking about not just me being melanated, although, the melanated people, we really feel it, but it's really targeted at all people in the U.S., but I think the melanated people really be the blueprint of the BS. And this is what they don't tell you. That feeling is not in your head. It's very real. But see, today I got something else to talk about. We're going to talk about the problem. We're going to talk about a solution. And the solution is really simpler than we think. And it's really been in our face this whole time. And it's older than the U.S. corporation itself. I want you to stay with me and listen. I know you just think I'm up here blabbering, but I'm really going to get down into it. I promise by the end of this video, you're going to see things completely different. And if you have kids, this is going to be clean enough for you to watch it with your kids. I know sometimes, I get up here and I ramble and I say words that is not age appropriate for children, but this is going to be all the videos, whether it be a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and I may do this all in parts. It's going to be clear and clean enough for you to watch it with your kids. This is a conversation that we need to be having in the kitchen, in the beauty salons, you know what I'm saying, at the casino, and the domino table, whatever. We need to be having this where we playing, bingo? We need to be having these conversations at the bars, or we get together drinking at the reunions and stuff like that. Wherever we get together and gather as a people, we need to be having these conversations. You know what I'm saying? This is my son, Goddess, and we're about to get into it. Okay, part 1. They've been running a game. And let me show you how the tricks work. Let me break down how the system actually works. Because, see, they don't teach us this in school. And once you see it, it's going to be in your mind and nobody can take it away. So this is an example. Imagine you and your neighbors are playing a board game. But when you sit down at the table, somebody already moved all the pieces before you even got here. You playing by the rules that you didn't write. And the person that wrote the rules and that moved the pieces on the game, they also the banker, they running it and stuff. Kind of like Monopoly a little bit. That's American politics for melanated people right now. And it's been that way for a while, since the U.S. corporation. So here's what just happened in 2026, and this is detrimental because a lot of times I do be like, it's not going to matter if we vote for the president, and that really don't matter for us. But this is at a local level. Like, this is locally, it's going to affect us as a people. It's going to affect everybody, but it's going to really affect us, our everyday lives. The Supreme Court basically dismantled the Voting Rights Act, the law that was supposed to protect our votes. They called it Louisiana versus Calais. I think I'm saying it right. What that means in plain English is this. States can now draw political maps called districts. That spreads the melanated voters so thin that we can never elect anybody who actually looks like us or thinks like us to represent us. And I want you to look at it like this. Say you and 1,000 of your neighbors all think alike. You have power together. But let's say somebody cut your neighborhood into 10 different pieces and mix each piece with neighborhoods that, can outvote you. Now your vote disappears. That's called gerrymandering. And they just made it legal to do. And they did this on purpose. So analysts say that this could cost us 15 melanated or black members of Congress, or people that is for the people of color and stuff. The people, I'm not saying people of color, but for melanated and black people. That would be the biggest rollback of black political representation since slavery ended. And, I'm talking about Reconstruction. That's like in the 1800s. Like the 1877 and in that area, end of slavery. So while that's happening at the top now, that's happening at the top. At the bottom, the states are adding new rules that make it harder just to register to vote. If you want to register in some states now, you need a passport or a birth certificate on hand right now today. Now, that affects the immigrants too. Because a lot of them don't have a birth certificate and stuff like that. And a lot of our people, I guess it affects our people. And I'm saying this because this is voting at the local level, not at the presidential level. A lot of our people, they saying they don't have license and IDs. And I don't understand that because I always stress with the people that's around me to keep your IDs updated. If you don't have a license, keep your ID. But I guess it's some people in certain situations, they get in situations and they in lower level incomes and lower poverty areas. They don't have their paperwork to vote. And that would affect a lot of it would affect the immigrants. It would affect the melanated people to a big degree too. Because, some people just getting back on track or they getting out of certain situations. They may not have their identifications and stuff like that. It says 21 million American citizens don't have easy access to these documents, and guess which communities are mostly affected. So statistics is saying that would hinder the votes of the melanated people because they're saying they don't have those documentations. Now, me personally, no matter what situation I'm in, if I could be sleeping in my car, I'm gonna be able to get to my stuff. But that's just me. I can't judge other people. I'm not saying everybody's situation is the same. In some situations, people actually abuse people and take their identity. They actually destroy their identity and stuff like that. And people be in all kind of situations. So I'm not saying this to make you feel hopeless. I'm just saying this so you will understand what we dealing with right now. Because you can't fight what you don't understand. So knowing is also power, but you got to put some action with it too. Now here's when it gets good. So take a few breaths and just take that in what I just said. Give you a few seconds. This is part 2, the real enemy. You got to follow the money. Look, the politicians aren't even the ones running it. So you can't be like, oh, I'm going to vote Democratic, I'm going to vote Republican. Here's something that's going to shift your whole perspective and how you think about them. The politicians are puppets. And I have been saying this forever. I said it again. The politicians are puppets. The real power is behind the curtain, just like on the Wizard of Oz. And it has a name. There is an organization called ALEC, ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. That's what it is. See, a lot of us have never heard of this. But corporations know about this company and this organization called ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. They sit in rooms with politicians. They write the actual laws they won't pass. And then those politicians go introduce those laws in the state legislature like they came up with it. I'm going to say it again. ALEC writes out what they want to be passed in the legislature. The politicians go and pass it through the states like they came up with it. So they didn't write it. They just signed their name on it, the politicians. And the money that funds all of this, guess what it's called? Dark money. And that's mighty funny that it's called dark money, because it's just, I'm thinking about, something that comes to my head when they be talking about the dirty Moors and the black nobility, and that's another story. So they say this dark money flows through shell companies and non-profits, 501c4s that never have to tell you who's actually paying. See, a billionaire can give millions to influence an election, and you would never know their name. And another thing, this is not one of my conspiracy theories or anybody else's conspiracy theories. The United States Senate confirmed it. You can look it up on a site called opensecrets.org. Type in any politician's name and see exactly which industries are funding them. It's called opensecrets.org. A politician funded by private prisons money would never reform the criminal justice system. A politician funded by real estate developers would never fix the housing crisis in those low poverty areas. The money tells you everything you need to know. And here's the part that should make you sit up straight. The same people dismantling the melanated black voting rights are the same people cutting federal jobs that black melanated workers depended on. They are also the ones spreading the narrative that the immigrants are taking what's yours. They want us mad at each other, not at them. Don't fall for it. Because, they allow the immigrants to come here. A lot of those politicians are puppets that these organizations want the immigrants to come here to try to replace the American people and the melanated American people, not just the black people, but all the American people, because they want to have people that are docile. Not saying that the immigrants are not smart. They just not from this country and don't know what's going on. And when somebody's not from here and you giving them like power and jobs and establishing them, of course they're going to vote in the direction that you want them to vote, because they feel like they're getting something out of it. They don't really know the history of this country. They don't really know, what's going on and how shiesty and undermining a lot of these organizations are to try to, destroy, the founding of this country as far as the real constitutions and stuff, and what it was, the Americas was founded on. So, they want us to fight the immigrants, and yeah, they're here, and it's a lot that goes on when the melanated people have to deal with that in their communities and neighborhoods and competing for jobs. But at the same time, they allow it. They give you a problem, and then they try to give you a solution for a problem that they created that you didn't even need the problem for. So we just have to be careful to not want to fight each other, because that's done by design. So now you know who the real opponent is, not the puppet, not the puppeteer. Now what we're going to do about it. The solution that they bury. Local is where the power is. This is what they don't want you to figure out. Here's the thing. They work very hard to make sure you never learned in school. The most powerful political positions for your daily life are not the president. It's not even your senator.